Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. We just hit 30.1k subscribers. Can we get to 31k by the end of the month? Please like this video down below and subscribe before we get started. However, today we are going to be doing a prediction map. Donald Trump versus Joe Biden during post-coronavirus fears, and we still have the coronavirus going on. The market has been very volatile. Some people are saying we could be in a contraction for a quarter, maybe 2 quarters, maybe we'll have a recession. However, my main point of why I don't believe that this is going to negatively impact Trump too much is because what we've seen in the similar strains of COVID in the past in China is that when the weather warms up, typically what you see is a reduction in the cases, and you'll see this coming forward. Right now, we're at a very, very troubling point in our nation, but I think we can get through it. They're going to put as much money towards a cure, much money that they possibly can towards testing. They're going to get people quarantined. I think it's a good thing if we overreact a little bit right now. However, at the end of the day, this is not going to be the devastating blow to Donald Trump's re-election chances. This guy's overcome everything. He's overcome a bunch of negative media coverage, and his approval rating has gone up from 23% back when he announced in 2015 to 46, almost 47% a week ago. It has gone down to 44, but what we've seen here today is that I do believe it's possible. Every poll, post the outbreak, post the drop in the stock market, what have we seen? We've seen Trump behind Biden. I think one poll had him down 2 points and one poll had him down 4 points. The poll out of Civics, which is not too friendly to him, had him down 2 or 3. This poll has him down 4 to Joe Biden in YouGov, which is usually on aggregate. And by the way, when you factor in trends, Trump can lose the popular vote by almost 5% and still have no problem winning the Electoral College, potentially by an even wider margin than before. I'll tell you this right now, potentially by a wider margin. And we very well are going to go through this. I've already filled out the safe states. I'd rather focus on the key empirical data that I've seen behind every state so we can actually go through this very accurately and predict why the states are going to go the way they are and why I still actually think that Donald Trump is still the favorite no matter if we have a recession. By the way, Joe Biden, if you've watched this man talk, you can understand that we could have 50,000 global pandemics and he's still going to struggle against Donald Trump. It's basically true. He hasn't been hit very hard so far by Donald Trump. Donald Trump has to ramp up the attacks. Meanwhile, you have a media working 24/7, 365 to subvert Donald Trump as a president. That's going to be much, much more negatively affecting Trump than so far anything that's been hit on Biden. So Trump is already down. I don't think Biden's attacks on Trump are going to be anything more than the attacks you see every day in the media. Donald Trump is actually going to be able to go up against Senile Joe and take him down in the debates fairly easily, in my opinion. But we're going to start with Texas, and we're going to do our post-coronavirus election prediction, Trump versus Biden, because everybody knows Bernie Sanders is toast. I did my last video on that. If you guys haven't seen my last video, I'd recommend watching it. It's a pretty good video, but Bernie Sanders is going to struggle very, very much so in order to beat Joe Biden. I don't believe he may even win another state in this potential primary election. Maybe he'll pick off Alaska or something on a fluke, but we'll see. As for the state of Texas, this is a state I believe Trump is going to still win in the likely column. Republican turnout was only 300,000 less than Democrat turnout was in the primary. And by the way, this goes without saying that Trump had no opposition and he almost outdid the Democrats. And you're seeing similar things happen in a few other states. And I know the primary turnout isn't everything. It's not nothing either. You had a bellwether seat in Houston's exurbs that went blue almost in the midterms, and even though this was supposed to be a major bellwether for the state, the Republican won it by 16. It seems like Republicans are doing very, very well in the state of Texas, and the Bernie Bro Hispanics in the western part of the state are not going to come out and turn out for Biden. I'm not saying they're going to vote for Donald Trump, but I'm saying they're not going to come out and vote for Biden. Biden's not going to take a stand too much on the immigration issue either way. The Latino rights, SJW type of people are not going to come out for Joe Biden the way they would have come out for Bernie Sanders. I think that Bernie would struggle in the suburbs of things like Dallas, but at the same time, again, you have to energize the Latino turnout. I definitely think Trump has a lot of accomplishments to tout in terms of suburban economics and things like that. So right now, Texas is in the likely red column for right now. However, the state of New Mexico, I'm going to put this in the, well, we don't know how the Latinos are going to come out and vote in New Mexico. Bernie could actually pick off this state. It really depends how strong the Latino support is right now. I'd put this in between lean blue and likely blue at the moment. I would put it in lean blue, but you do have concerns over the coronavirus. I would assume we take care of it by the election day, but we're going to have to see on that front. Colorado is one of these states where Republican turnout in the primary was much higher than expected. Donald Trump has got a great ad game in Colorado. Again, you go, you do one rally, you splice all these clips together, you put music behind it, it's going to work beautifully. Joe Biden's not going to energize the Bernie bro base in Colorado. Colorado, one of those states that Bernie actually won in the primary. Definitely a lot of marijuana industry there. I don't believe Biden is going to be able to have that outreach that Bernie Sanders would have actually had in Colorado. And especially you look at Latino voters in Colorado, in the southern part of the state, Democrats have been siphoning away in the old Spanish part of Colorado to the Republicans for a couple cycles now. Even though it's not much, it will be enough to make the difference between a lean blue state and a likely blue state. So right now I'm going to say Biden's going to win it by 4, maybe 4.5, and that's good enough to put it in the lean column. The state of Arizona, we're going to do the state of Arizona. Arizona is going to be a key state, potentially battleground state right now, a toss-up state, because you have so much growth in the suburbs of Phoenix and things like that, and definitely in the midterms it went blue. Now, the midterm elections aren't really everything, but you see this here. I do believe Donald Trump is going to edge out Joe Biden. I do believe it's going to be very, very narrow. I actually believe that Martha McSally will end up losing to Mark Kelly in the Senate election race right now. Now, this could change. If Trump wins the state by 4, and we've seen weighted polling by States Poll that shows that he could be potentially up by 6, when you use and you analyze the Democrat internal polls and you properly weight them by party ID, I believe Trump is up by 6, but I'll believe it when I see it in more polls. I'm going to take the more conservative side of things here just because of the coronavirus and things like that. But people need to understand that Trump's base does not waver. There is nothing that they can do to take out the Trump base, and Trump will be able to get his base out to vote no matter what. It doesn't matter if you have 1 pandemic, 10 pandemics, 10 recessions. They don't understand that the main reason why Trump was put into power to begin with was to counter the elites, to counter the leftist elites, the people in Hollywood, the people that like to talk down on ordinary Americans and things like that. Trump was a symbolic middle finger to these people, and a lot of people know and understand this, especially with Joe Biden on the other side. He's got an elite to attack. This is shaping up to look exactly, identically to 2016, and we're going to see it when it's all said and done. And I actually have some data out of Florida. We're going to do Florida next. Actually, we'll do Nevada. Coronavirus is going to put Nevada back into the Democrat column, in my opinion. Republicans were gaining registrations in Nevada over the past couple of months. However, Democrats have stepped up their game, partially because it was before the caucus. You had a lot of people there in the state of Nevada actually planning to join the party just to vote in the closed caucuses. So that's why I do believe that Republicans could rebound. It's actually trended red, believe it or not. Nevada has actually trended red since the 2008 election, by the way, in terms of the national scale. It's actually gone red, and Arizona, ironically enough, has gone blue since then in terms of the trend. So they're trending in opposite directions. Definitely you have more conservative Californians moving to Nevada. Also, you have more liberal New Yorkians and stuff like that, people in the Midwest moving down to Arizona. That could potentially be a proper explanation why they're trending in opposite directions. So I have data out of Florida. By the way, guys, follow me on Twitter. Take this time out to follow me on Twitter at Red Eagle Patriot. Link is in the description. So apparently, if the numbers hold in Florida from what we see here, and among Bernie bros, Trump has gotten 20% of the vote so far among Bernie bros in Florida, according to this poll. And you see poll after poll after poll in the state of Florida, the way these things are looking for the Republicans in the state of Florida, and you look at the Florida early voting, actually Republicans have a very, very good chance to actually take a lead over the Democrats as a whole in the Florida primary. Trump's energy in Florida is very big. He's got a big base in Florida. I'm moving Florida from tilt R to lean R in my prediction. So right now I believe Florida will be in the lean R column. So it's looking very, very interesting for the state of Florida and why it's actually able to maintain its status as a red state, and I do believe it will do so throughout this decade. You have the Panhandle, which is like the Deep South, and then you have the southern part of the state, which is very, very similar to the Midwest, and both of those are actually trending in the Republican column and have been doing so for some time now. So I think that that will keep Florida red for another decade or so, in fact, tilt red to lean red, and I don't know what's going to happen after that. We're going to have to see, because the parties, they do a little bit of changing from time to time. So the state of Florida, I will believe that will stay in the lean red column. Same thing with Georgia. Now, the thing with Georgia, and I'll tell you, every poll I see has the Republicans doing very well in Georgia. Am I skeptical that it could get closer? Yes, but it seems like after 2018, Republicans may be getting their act together in Georgia. They're beating the Democrats out in the turnout game for the Senate election, 40-21 in the last poll, and Republicans were in the last two spots for the runoff, so Democrats may not even have a chance at one of the Georgia Senate races. So I do believe that Georgia is going to go in the Republican column, lean to likely, roughly 4 to 5 points, and that could actually be greater than that, depends on what the coronavirus fears are moving forward. The state of Iowa. I saw a poll out of Iowa. Trump is at 50% approval post-coronavirus and is up over Biden and Sanders by double digits. This would be enough to move it into the safe column. We saw the governor prediction, or we saw the governor results there from 2018, and they went heavily in favor of the Republican despite a very moderate Democrat running. I think Iowa is going to be likely red no matter what. Same thing with Ohio, if not safe, mainly for the fact that Ohio, you see this throughout the nation, just basically the trends alone is going to keep Iowa and Ohio in the Republican column, and it should do so no matter what happens, honestly. These states are basically shaping up to be the next Missouri and the next Indiana. You see this here. If you just look at the trends that you've seen out of Iowa and Ohio, it's going to be very, very almost impossible for the Democrats to buck an 8-point trend. Actually, the trend was 10 to 11 points Republican. It's going to be very, very hard for Democrats to move it back 9 points in each state in order for the Democrats to pick off the state. So right now we're going to put them in the likely column. They possibly could be in the safe column. Nebraska's 2nd district's going to be close, but if Iowa's still going to Trump by a likely column margin, I think that Nebraska's 2nd district is going to go Republican. You have a deep Republican history there. It went red in the midterms, although the Democrat running was a little bit more like Bernie than Biden. However, it was a D+9 nationwide electorate. So if we look at that and we look at the data, it's shaping up to be another win for the Republicans. North Carolina, I do believe, is going to stay in the Republican column. Polling not looking so good for Republicans out of North Carolina. I still do believe Republicans are going to pull it off when it's all said and done in the state of North Carolina. If you have Florida going red, you have Georgia going red, it's going to be very hard to see North Carolina going red. The state of Virginia is a state I'm going to put in the likely column for the Democrats. Again, Biden, very establishmentarian. You do have angry Republicans over the gun issue, but I have yet to see really any competitive polling recently that puts Trump over Biden in the state of Virginia. I will be welcome to look at any data that we get in the future. However, right now I'm going to put Virginia in the likely blue column. Minnesota is a state that I'm very well could be saying it's going to go in the red column. However, I believe that there's a chance Biden picks Amy Klobuchar to be her VP, and we are in a very tough situation with the economy right now. Potentially, I don't believe that's going to help flip Minnesota this time around. So I'm sorry, as of right now, the coronavirus fears and stuff like that is going to stunt Trump's ability to win Minnesota. However, I think that we are much more likely to win Wisconsin. Here is a trend map from 2016 to 2018. I've made this map and I put it on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Red Eagle Patriot. The link is in the description for that, by the way. Make sure you do that. So basically, the WOW counties, which are the most popular suburbs in the state of Wisconsin, actually trended 5 to 10% more Republican in the 2018 election than they were in 2016. However, you look at some of the other parts of the state that Trump did very, very well in, and the Democrats trended by 5 to 10, sometimes even up to 15% more Democrat. I do believe Trump will stop the bleeding in those counties. I do believe he will maintain the gains made among the establishment conservatives that may have been a little too reluctant to back him back then, or may have voted for people like Gary Johnson. So I do believe that this alone is going to help Trump win the state of Wisconsin, probably by 3 to 5 points, as a lot of this blue is going to trend back into the red column, and I don't believe he's really going to lose the Walker gains made within the suburban Milwaukee area. So from that point on, I do believe Wisconsin is going to be in the lean red column. I do believe that Pennsylvania and Michigan are going to be two different things. Now, look at Biden. Look at what he did to the factory worker in Michigan. That is going to be playing in advertisements. I cannot wait to see all the advertisements I'm going to see out of the state of Michigan that's going to just put that on our airwaves 24/7. Michigan is a state that is going to be trending in the Republican column over the next couple of cycles, including this cycle. It's going to be very close. I do believe Trump is going to win it. I do believe John James is going to win it. The Republican Party is going to have a very good operation going. The Democrat governor, not as popular as she was when she took office, so that's another good thing moving forward. And I do believe you're going to see a similar thing in Pennsylvania. Biden telling the workers to learn to code there and basically coming out and doing the same mistake Hillary did, the same mistake Obama did, and trashing the coal miners. That's not going to work. Western Pennsylvania is trending in the Republican column almost exponentially, and we see this through almost every metric. I definitely believe the turnout in Philly that Hillary got was so astronomical. I don't know if Biden's going to be able to match it in turnout, but we're going to have to wait and see. But as of now, I believe it is going to lean in Trump's column. The state of New Hampshire, this is definitely a tough one. It's been trending red demographically. It looks like it's going to be very good for Trump. And if you look at the coronavirus and what it's going to do, it's probably going to spur a new wave of type of a nationalistic ideology thing going on here. And demographically speaking, that's going to work out very well in the white working class areas in New Hampshire. So I do believe that New Hampshire, that Trump only lost by 3,000 votes. The third party vote will be down alone. That's going to get him New Hampshire. I don't believe the bases are going to waver too much because, again, we are in a very, very polarized environment. So Maine at large, I do believe, is still going to tilt in the Dem column. Republicans will make marginal gains there. It won't be enough to make a difference unless the virus fears go away faster than later. And I do believe that Maine's 2nd district is still going to go for Trump in the safe column. He'll win it by 10 or 11 points again. So here you guys have it. Here you guys have it, 310 to 228. I do believe that Trump is still on track to beat Joe Biden despite these coronavirus fears. We're going to have to wait. We're going to have to see. But basically, the polarized response to Trump's response to the situation is definitely going to keep this a very, very competitive race moving forward, no matter what. By the way, guys, make sure you join the Subscribe Star if you want to. Definitely, I made a Subscribe Star. It's just like Patreon. However, they support free speech and stuff like that a lot more. So if you guys want to join my Subscribe Star, you can join it. You'll get some benefits for that as well. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, donate to the Patreon, links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.